Okay, so we are on to round number 45. In round number 45 we are using the same color. Of course you can use a different color, but I would suggest using the same color. So what we're going to do is we're going to work, okay, let me show you. We're going to be working through these two chain two corner spaces, alright? So we're going to chain 3, we're going to be working, so that's equivalent to 1 double crochet, then we're going to be working 2 double crochets, chain 2 and 3 double crochets. So it's 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets into 2 chain 2 corner spaces, if that makes sense. Okay, like that. Alright, now what we're going to do is we're going to skip 2 legs. I'm going to call these posts of the stitches, I'm going to call them legs. So we're going to skip the first 2 and we're going to work a yarn over times 3 puff. We're not going to do a chain 1 or anything, we're just going to do our yarn over times 3, chain 1 to close, puff. So we're going to skip 2 legs each time. Right, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Alright, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we're going to skip 2 legs and we're going to skip 2 legs here as well. So that stitch plus our first single crochet back post, and into that chain space and that joining space we're going to work another puff. Okay, and now we're going to yarn over and we're going to go into the very next chain 2 space, alright, like that, and we're going to work, okay, it's a bit awkward to show you, that first chain space, we're going to skip over that 2 trebles together and we're going to work into the next space, like that, okay, and we're just going to work, so just use your finger to kind of feel where you're going, and we're going to work another yarn over times 3 chain into that space. Then we're going to yarn over and work another puff, yarn over times 3 puff. What am I calling that chain? Okay, so with your eye, okay, one of the reasons I'm carrying on with the same color is because just for aesthetics, so you're not going to notice that you're doing those little changes over there. Alright, can you see what I mean? Even though you haven't skipped 2 legs there, just the way that this part was worked in the previous rounds, the spacing is the same, because the eye, your eye will always look for discrepancies. So, and the same goes for here, right? So to the eye, it looks equal. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to jump right over into our very first space between our first 2 times 2 double crochets together. And we're going to be so we're going to just jump all the way over, and we're going to be working these puffs, yarn over times 3, chain 1 to close, not an extra chain 1. We're going to be working them between our 2 times 2 double crochets together. So we'll have 11 of those. Alright, bear with me. It'll all work out, don't worry. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and I'm going to go all the way down the other side with you. So 1, 2, 3, as long as I'm not going off camera, like in round number 41. as I said, I was busy editing round number 41, and well, it was all over here. So that's no good at all. Okay, so just make sure you're not going between, and you're actually going between the two double crochets together that we worked into the chain one space. So you'll see your work is starting to just cup slightly. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we have done our puffs into each space between our 2 times 2 double crochets together. Now we are going to be working another puff between the next 2 trebles, the next two trebles together, the next two trebles together. Then we're going to yarn over and we're going to go into our, okay, so remember we've got that chain one space, that chain one space, and that chain one space. We're going to go into that second chain one space, alright, and we're going to work. So now it's a bit more difficult because we're kind of working backwards, if you know what I mean, but we're going to go pick it up with our hook and go between, so before the next 2 trebles, and we're just going to work another puff. 3 there. Then we're going to yarn over. We're going to go into our next chain one space, and we're going to work a puff over the chain one and the joining space. The joining space between that last 2 trebles together and our next double crochet back post. Then we're going to skip 2 legs, 1, 2. We'll bind our 2 legs, and then we're going to work our next puff. So I hope that wasn't too weird. Right, as long as we've got the same number of puffs. So that's what we need to check. We need to make sure that we've got the same number of puffs. Right, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're counting them all the way up to here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we should have 1, 2, 3, 4. 5. Ta-da! 7. Okay, and then we'll have 2 legs left over. So the same as we've done there, we have those 2 legs before we do our corners, and the same story here. We've got 2 legs left over. We're going to yarn over, work through our 2 chain 2 corners, double crochet times 3, chain 2, turn your work, 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then skip 2 legs and work your puffs again. So okay, so just to go over this again, when you get to your, so you've got your 1, 2, 3, 4, you've got your 5 puffs, and then you're going to get to this weird little corner space over here, and you're going to be working into your first chain 1 space, so over that chain 1 space and the joining space between your last 2 trebles together and your first, or between your last double crochet back post and your next 2 trebles together. So you're going to work over that space, then you're going to go into your next chain 1 and you're going to work into the space after that treble. Okay, then you're going to skip the next treble and work into the space, so it looks as if you have 2 trebles together there. okay, but one is worked into the top of the 4 double crochets together, and the other one is worked into the space after it, okay, but they look as if they're 2 together. So you're going to work your puff into there, and then you're going to work a puff in between your 2 double crochet V's, you know, that V over there, like that. Okay, and then you're going to do the same on the other side. So before you work into your first one, you should in fact have 8. So you should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then you're going to have 11, and then you're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right, and then you're going to have 11. So it's 8, 8, and 11. Okay, and then of course your 6 double crochets and your chain 2s. So I shall see you at the end of this round. And you see, remember before we had this over here, and you can see it's like quite uneven and sort of floppy and doing all sorts of funny things. And now it's lovely and straight, and we are ready to move on. I mean, well, it's not straight. It's curved, but it's lying nice and flat. Okay, so I shall see you at the end of this round, which is round number 45. So my challenge now is to actually go and write down the pattern and try and explain what I've just told you. Because there are lots of people who don't watch the videos. They don't want to watch the videos. They don't like watching videos. So they like the written pattern, and the written pattern is not my strong point, because I find it very difficult to sometimes explain, you know. That's why I do the videos. Okay, see you at the end of this round and the beginning of round number 46. Okay, so just finishing off round number 45. So we are just going to slip stitch into, I'm just doing a slip stitch into the top of that first double crochet. Actually, I'm sort of skipping the chain 3, but really you should maybe do it, but you know, you can see it doesn't make much difference. Okay, so I really hope that you managed over this part. Okay, I can show you. So you know, when you're working over that first chain space, when you're coming up from your right to your left, that puff number 6 kind of corresponds with that joining space, you know, that joining space between this 2 treble together and that first double crochet, I mean that you know, it's last on the side, not first, and that double crochet back post, okay, your 6th one, and then you're going into your next chain 1 space, and you're working over the space after. You see over there, if you look at the back, you can, you know, if you look, there we go. That's, you know, now you can kind of see exactly how it looks, you know, and you can see the spacing is almost exact. Alright, so you can see where that one goes. That one is worked over that joining space between the first and the second 2 trebles together, and then you're working into the space between the next, you know, that one and the following one, so the second and the third one. And then you're skipping right over and you're working between all of your 2 double crochets together. So now I'm using acrylic, obviously, and you know, acrylic has got that you know, it's a little bit elastic, and I work that into my patterns, you know. But if you're working with a cotton, and cotton is, you know, maybe doesn't have that give, especially if it's not a blend, you know, some cottons are acrylic and cotton blends, but if you're not working with, you're working with a pure cotton, it might be a little bit stiff, and you might want to add a chain between your puffs if you feel it's really, really cupping. You know, it shouldn't, it should just very slightly cup. If you push it down, it should be flat, but actually, I like that it cups just ever so slightly, because it means I'm on the right track, okay, that my tension isn't too loose, okay, like here for example. But the thing is, with acrylic, as soon as you give it a little bit of a stretch, it's, you know, it behaves itself. It behaves itself. Okay, so that is the end of round 45, and if you have done this and you haven't had a problem, then two thumbs up for you. See you at round number 46. Okay, we're on round number 46, and round number 46 I'm going to continue with the same color. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to begin in a different way. Okay, so now you're going to work between your 3 double crochets from your round number 43. I think it was 43, that round. Okay, let me just check. 45, 44, yes, I think it was 43. Okay, now you're going to be working over that chain 2 space from your puff way back. Alright, so we're actually going to work a yarn over times 4, 3, 4, a yarn over times 4 puff into that space. Alright, so I always start with alright, like that, so it's going to look like that. Maybe it's just better to show you and let you get on with it. Okay, so you can see where it is. It's over there. So you're just catching up that chain 2 from your round number. Let's just see what round that is. That was round. I should have checked. I should have checked, but you know, round number 41, right? Round number 41, our famous round number 41, that almost wasn't. So you're going to work a yarn over times 4 puff into that space. Alright, so you're working from back to front. Then you're going to chain 3. You're going to skip your first puff and you're going to work a yarn over times 3 puff into your next space between puffs. And now you're going to do that all the way around. You're just going to work. I love my puffs. I know you probably hate them. If you've done my other patterns, you know how much I use them. I just love them. You know, I think I need to make myself a puff blanket. If I make myself a puff blanket, I might just completely lose my love for them. Okay, so you're just working between all of your puffs from your previous round. And as I said, if you feel, so keep your tension nice and loose, not too tight. But if you feel that it is a little bit tight and your corners are really curling, then you may want to just work a chain 1 between your puffs, okay? So I'm working yarn over times 3 puffs, just working into the space. And you can see with the acrylic, you know, it looks almost like I have done a chain 1, but of course I haven't done a chain 1 in between. Alright, so you just kind of scoot on like that. 1, 2, 3. Alright, so you're just working between. I'm just going to do a side with you if I don't run out of battery or memory card. Then I can just show you how to finish this. Okay, so don't pull too tight, keep it nice and right. So you can see that mine, it is starting to, but of course, you know, again with the acrylic it stretches, and it's one of the reasons I don't use too many extra stitches, is because in time, you know, after a blanket has been washed and so on and so forth, acrylic will stretch, and then, you know, the integrity of your design, if that is the word, it starts looking a bit sort of shabby. So, not that I mind shabby chic, but it does start looking a bit shabby. Okay, so I'm racing, can you see? I'm racing against battery time, memory card time. I really need to get into the 21st century. Okay. And you're going to stop between the last 2, 3. Then you're going to chain 2, 3. Okay, so you chain you're doing a chain 3, yarn over, go through your space there, and just, you know, just hook up your chain 2 space, work your yarn over times 4, puff, chain 1 to close, 1, 2, 3, and then you're going to skip your first puff, that one, and you're going to work between your puffs. Nice, easy peasy round. Yarn over time. Remember, the corners are yarn over times 4 and the sides are yarn over times 3. Alright, so now, okay, so it should, you know, it should look like that. Alright, so I am going to see you at the end of this round, round number 46, and then we shall start round number 47 together. And to close this round, we are just going to pop a slip stitch into the top. I've just been playing with my dogs, so my hands are a little bit dirty. We're just going to pop a slip stitch into the top of our very first popcorn, not popcorn, puff. That very first puff that we started, alright, that we started with. Okay, so now, I'm just going to pull that back a bit. I just want to show you, so it will be, right, so that is folding up a bit, but if it's folding up a bit, that's fine, because as I say, usually with the acrylic, especially after you've blocked, everything is, you know, lying pretty nice and flat. Oh, what did I forgot to do. I was just thinking, hold on, that doesn't look right. Oh, I forgot to do a chain 3, so I'm just going to undo that and do a chain 3. I was just thinking, no, that doesn't look right. Okay, so don't forget to do your chain 3, your last chain 3, before you work into your puff. Okay, so it's going to look like that. It's going to look like that. And looks pretty nifty. So I'm going to just do my chain 3 quickly and then take some photographs, and then we shall go on to round number 47. Okay, so we are on round number 47. And number 47, we are going to carry on with the same colour. Well, I'm going to carry on with the same colour. And so what we're going to do is we are going to begin between our first and second puff, and this is just a puff round. Again, we're going to go round doing puffs as we did with the previous round. So it's yarn over times 3. I start with this standing single crochet. We don't do any chain 1s or anything like that, we just go as I was saying in the previous rounds, you can do a chain 1 in between these puffs if you're working with a very stiff, you know, a stiffer, not a very stiff yarn, because why would you be working with a very stiff yarn, but a stiffer yarn than this very soft Colour Crafter from Skipjes. This is 100% acrylic. It's very soft. It's actually lovely for blankets. And of course it has that sort of elastic, you know, it has a stretch to it, which I take into account, as I've explained. But if you have 100% cotton, and it's not quite so stretchy, then you might want to do a chain 1 in between your puffs. Alright, if you feel that they're pulling a bit too tight. So we're just going to go, and I just want to take you around the one side, and then you can carry on. So I think most of the time I've been here and not just left you to fend for yourself. Okay, so our next round is going to be a fun round, another independent round. that I've kind of been working on for a day, because, you know, I decided with this mystery along that I really was going to try and translate what was in my head into something functional and useful. So it's not so easy sometimes. I have an idea and then have to, you know, try and work it out. Okay, just going to go all the way around, working our 1, 2, 3. So kind of racing along for no reason really, just to get a more boring round out of the way. Although these kind of rounds form the foundations, you know, for other parts of the pattern. What did I do there? Okay, so we're nearing the end. 2, 3. Okay, so we'll keep, whoops, trying to pull some yarn towards me. 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2, 3. Now just keep your stitches nice and relaxed. Okay, so here we are at the end of this side, and we've got our last 2 puffs. So we're just going to work the last one. Did I do 3 or 4? It doesn't really matter, but for the overall consistency, let's do that again. 1, 2, 3. All right, and now what we're going to do is we are going to chain 3. We're going to work a single crochet into our chain 3 at the back of our work. Going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. We're going to work a single crochet into the next chain 3 space, chain 3, yarn over, and we're back to working our puffs. Alright, so that's how it's going to be. So your corners are going to be like that: chain 3, single crochet, chain 3, single crochet, working into those 2 chain 3s from our previous round. Excuse me. And that's our sides. They're not very sidey, are they? Yeah. So as you can see with the acrylic, you know, you just have to like wiggle it a bit and stretch it a bit. And I mean, especially after blocking, it all lies beautifully flat. So I'll show you a bit of a panoramic view. But as I say, if you're using a cotton, if you're not using a cotton acrylic blend, for example, which has that stretch, then add, you know, do feel free to add a single chain 1 in between. Okay, so that's round number 47, and I shall see you at the end of round number 47, just before we close off on this corner. Okay, then I'll show you how to finish off here. Okay, so see you at the end of this round. Okay, so we my cat thinks I'm talking to her. Hello, my sweetie. Hello. Hello, my darling. Hello. Hello. Okay, so hello. Come and say hello. Last puff. 1, 2, 3. Single crochet into your chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Single crochet into your next chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And work a slip stitch into the top of your very first puff there of that round. Okay, and fasten off. There we go. Alright, so it's going to look like that. Okay, and as I said before, with the acrylic, I mean, you can, you just need to give it a little bit of a stretch and it lies, it lies nice and flat. And with your cotton, you might want to do a chain one in between. If it curls up just a little bit like this, that's fine. But if it's really, really tight, where you can't actually stretch it out at all, then rather do your chain one in between, okay? And you've got your chains at the back. Anyway, that is the end of round number 47, and I shall see you at the beginning of round number 48. What's going on here, girls? Say bye. Okay, so we are on to round number 48, although what I'm showing you here, I've actually gone ahead. I did this part over here with a different camera, which didn't work out. So now I kind of lost just the very beginning of this part over here. So we're going to kind of ignore what's going on there, and you're going to be, I'm just going to show you where to start, okay, and then I will share the rest of that video, but it just misses this kind of first bit. So you're going to be working in the space between puff number 3 and puff number 4, counting from right to left. Okay, so we're going to go this way, so counting from right to left. All right, so we're going to begin. So if we have 3 and so we've got 3 and 4, right, so there. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, and that's where you're going to be working, because all of that only exists in the future. All right, so just ignore it. So you're going to have, this is basically your puffs from your previous puff rounds, okay? And now you want to work in 4 times 3 trebles together. Okay, so 4 times 3 trebles together. And that's where you're going to work it in. So you're going to have 3 puffs, and you're going to work it between the 3rd and the 4th puff. All right? And then you're going to be working your attaching, where you attach your first 3 trebles together is going to be into that chain 1, the chain space, okay, the chain 3 space. I hope I'm making sense here. Okay, I'm sorry. And then you can see you're going to be attaching your last 3 trebles together into that space after the 3rd puff. 1, 2, 3, and that's where you're going to attach that one. Okay, so now I have the rest of the video. I can show you, okay, how to carry on with this. But as I say, I didn't want to just leave you floating around not knowing exactly where to begin. Okay, so from your corner to the right, you count 3 puffs, and this is where you're going to work this lot into that space between the 3rd and the 4th. All right, and then you're going to count 3, 1, 2, 3, and that's where you're going to attach your 4th 3 trebles together, and you're going to attach your first one into your chain 3 space. Okay, all right, don't look at that part. Okay, so I'll share the rest of the video. Okay, so as I was saying, we are going to attach the last 3 trebles together into that chain 3. Okay, and then I'm just going to show another. You just make it like really, really tight. Okay, and then what we're going to do is, so that is the first part of round number 48. And now we're going to do the second part. And the second part, I'm going to use the color Breda. So that's that color that we're busy using, okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to start in our chain 2 space, right, like so. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're going to work again. We're going to work 3 trebles together, like so. Whoops, not like that, like that, right? We're going to yarn over, and then we're just going to skip. We're going to attach it into the 4th. So it's going to be a little bit different from the other side, but it really is not a train smash, right? Going to single crochet, chain 1, and then we're going to do this 2 more times. So we're going to basically do 2, 3 trebles together, right, separated by a chain 1. We're going to do 1, 2, 2. So, in fact, when I sort of unceremoniously went off camera, my trusty camera that I have used for years gave up the ghost finally, and now I'm using a camera that I bought a while ago, but I haven't used it, and so this is the first time I'm filming with it, so things might look a little bit different. Alright, so, and then we're going to work another 3 times 3 trebles together, separated by a chain 1. So the way I do, I just like to finish that, with that sort of little thing that I did over there, chain 1. Alright, just gives it a nice crisp finish when you're doing, trebles together. Just do that, single crochet, and then 1 chain. Right. I'm hoping that this movie clip is actually working. Otherwise I'm going to have to do this again. Alright, and then so you're doing exactly the same into your next chain 2. So you're going to have 9 3 trebles together in all. Right, 1, 2, 3, chain 1, 2. I'm kind of hoping maybe with this new camera that, the colours will be a little bit better than my old one. Okay, so now we've done our 9, so you can see we have 3, 6, 9 separated, and we have 2, 4, 6 chain 1s, and we're going to attach this with a single crochet into that same chain 3 space. Alright, just simplify yarn and just make sure it's really nice and tight and secure. Okay, so don't worry too much about your attaching single crochets because we are going to be working over those, so you won't even see them. Alright, so, and then the coup de grace or the piece de resistance. Now, this is optional. You don't have to do this if you don't want to. If you think it's just a little bit too much. In a onesie I had my little flowers, and a lot of people didn't do those flowers. They were just an extra bit, but I think, well, I wanted to do this, but you don't have to do the stalk. So what we're going to do is we're going to work into that right over the top of that long distance 5 yarn over front post that we made way back yonder. Right, and we're going to chain 10. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then we're going to snip off yarn, and we're going to do an extra one just for love. Alright, so now don't pull that too tight, and you're just going to slip your hook in. You can actually just feel with your finger there is a little gap back there, and you can pull that to the back, which you can fasten off later. And now the kind of fancy way that I've worked this is, right, I'm going to show you. So what you're going to do is you are going to, right, so you've got your tail there. You're just going to go through the hole, so at the base of your little leaf. Now just be aware, you don't want to pull it tight. So what you're going to do is just very loosely work around the center. So you'll have your 2 leaves, one side, 2 leaves the other side. You're going to work center, and that's where you're going to attach your stalk. Okay, so you can see it just showing up there. Alright, and you can do that again. You can do it twice just to make sure, and then just go through the top. Just that sort of extra little stitch that I did there. So you just go through the top and like that, and then you can work the tail in. Right, so you can work the tail in. Can you see what I'm doing? Okay, and you just work the tail in at the back there, through the base of your first part. Right, so that's your three parts of round number 48. You're just going to snip that off, and then you're going to just work in your other tails, and that's what it's going to look like. Okay, so you're going to have your little stalk going all the way up there, nice and center. See where you've gone over there? Okay, see where I've worked over there? Right, and now you can just go and work in your excuse me, you can go work in your ends, and then, okay, so basically you're going to do 2 either side of this kind of corner. Not really, is it a corner? Perhaps it's a corner, maybe it's not a corner, all of this is still a mystery. Okay, so you can just pull, and then also down at the bottom here is the base of your 10 chains, and you can just work it kind of in there, into that area over there, and secure it nicely. But a word from experience, don't pull your chain super tight. Okay, so keep it nice and kind of, there must be movement there. All right. Okay, so now when you work on the other side, you're basically going to mirror the same. So you're going to skip, you'll begin here. So you'll skip 3, and then, you'll attach. You basically do exactly what you've done there, but on that side as well. Except, where you're working from right to left, this time you'll be working from left to right. And left. It should be the opposite. So if you start with that one, you can use that one as your blueprint, and then you do exactly the same on this side as well. Okay, and then you will do the same. So you're basically working either side of those 3 trebles, 3 double crochets, 3 double crochets. Okay, so you're working there. Okay, so I think that's pretty easy. Hey, what do you think? Okay, can I leave you there? Alright, so that is the end of round number 48, and I shall see you at the beginning of round number 49.